how everybody took it. It's called the Unlimited Mindset. And I talk to a lot of people here, as you do, and you're networking and you're talking, right? And I learned some really good things from office hours. I'll credit Lincoln, I think it was his call, where there's this guy, he was talking about his $5 million fund. And Lincoln was very polite, but he said it in such a way that was like, nobody cares about your $5 million fund. And so I thought immediately, add a zero right away. What I want to talk about is opening your mind from where you're at and thinking you need to scale when you could just go vertical. And there's this imagery, and I think it's scientific, it's on the internet, so it must be true, said Abraham Lincoln. There's a meme that says that. And there's these fleas in a jar, and these scientists put the lid on the jar, and they would hop up and they would hit the lid. And they would keep hitting it. And then they trained themselves, and when they took off the lid, they never jumped higher than the lid. The lid was off, but they were in. And with a limited mindset, you're a flea hitting an imaginary boundary, looking at your peers for what's possible. Now, your peers are good. You need to do some peer checking. But then someone needs to say, hey, the lid's off. Do you think we should get out? Do you think we should get into real estate when COVID hit? Do you remember that? My local real estate group went, oh, I'm hoarding my money. I said, I'm buying everything. And I did. I bought everything and I won. And those of you who bought in 2020, you won too. But the initial sentiment was, we don't know what's going on. I said, I'm a flipper. At that point, I was a flipper. I'm doing commercial real estate and then large commercial development. And so once you come out of the jar as a flea, and you figure out you're the one that pops out, you turn into a king. King or a queen, ladies here, you're a queen. Royalty is the point. And if you think as a royalty type person, you'll act differently, you'll probably stand better than I do. I have a, I relax like this, but you'd talk differently, you'd spend different money, you'd expect differently in your interactions, you'd behave differently, you'd expect respect, and you would give respect, right? But with that limited mindset of the flea, I want to tell you, the lid's off. The lid's off. And once you realize the lid's off, the jig is up. You're free. And breaking free from your mental limitations, that means when a good deal comes, you won't tell yourself why it's a bad deal. Have you ever done that? And you kick yourself? There's always these actors, I can't remember what movie it was, but he got offered 10% of the movie, and he would have been a quote billionaire, if he would have took it. But he couldn't see the vision. And so when you take the lid off, and you have an unlimited mindset. So here's an activity I just made up, so it's completely factual. I made up a little thing. You could write it down, you could do it. I want you to do it. I used to come from nuclear power, and you do stress tests to see how well you're doing. I know in financial, there's stress tests to see how well the bank is doing. I want to stress test you, and I want you to check your internal temperature right now, because you're gonna feel stressed. And nothing happened to you. We're just simulating something right now. I want you to think about your fund number. How much are you wanting to raise in your fund, right? And I want you to add a zero. Do you feel the same? Now I want you to take that number times 2. Do you still feel the same? If you don't know your thesis. You don't. If you could add a 0, so the formula I made up today is 0x2. If you get 0x2, your number, I trust you. If you can't, I don't. Now the other thing is, people want to invest in people at that level. You're going to find that out. Rich people don't want to invest in your $5 million fund. They don't. 50 is your number, 100 is better, right? Because if you could buy real estate at 40 million, you could buy it at 80 million, can't you? Can you buy the multifamily at 80? Can you just look a little outside your local market and maybe buy 80 million of multifamily, right? Or can you find the biggest developer in your region and say, if I gave you 80 million, could you make, oh yeah, actually I've been waiting for someone. People are waiting for you to think bigger. And the opportunities are hidden. You don't know that they are until you get looking. But I can't teach you anything else, and neither can any of the other coaches, until you get this concept. The rest is details and subject matter expert stuff, but if you don't have this, you won't even consider yourself worthy of the deal right in front of you. So that's what I wanted to say to you today. So I want to do an activation. So did you do the 0x2? Did you do that?
Yeah.
Do you still feel okay?
Stressed.
Or do you feel stressed?
Stressed.
Right? It hurts a little. If it hurts, go back and study. Tighten up your understanding. Tighten up your market. If you don't, go big. You need to start talking to people. Hey, if it was 4 million plus 0 is 40 times 2, I got an $80 million idea. Because you do. It's just more hamburgers. Warren Buffett said once, if hamburgers are on sale, and I love hamburgers, guess what I'm buying? More hamburgers. You just have a great hamburger and you're gonna buy truckloads of hamburgers. Real estate, crypto, whatever it is you're doing. The point is you have the belief and you ever swim and when you were not such a good swimmer, some of you still aren't, but well, let's say when you were younger and you found the bottom, you actually have something to push off of. People know when you don't believe your own thesis. You're trying to convince them, they're like, you don't even believe it. You're I swear it's a really good idea. And it probably is. But you didn't 0x to it. I want you to get it settled and then say, do I feel good with 0x2? Add a 0, 4 million to 40 million to 80 million. I think I do. And I would have to do this. Do all the math. And then when you feel good, go out there, go big. Because there are pension funds that want to talk to you. There's money that wants to put money into your idea, but you have to be at that level. And I want your spirit to be at that level. Amen? Amen. Amen. Thank you guys.
Guys, this is great. Let's give another round of applause. All right, so my name is Dan Pearson. I ran